All right, let's go back. France, 1850s. Picture it. You walk through narrow cobblestone streets every morning, the air filled with that sharp scent of coal. No cars, just horse-drawn carriages clattering by. And don't even get started on 21st century internet speed. Try waiting 2 weeks for a letter. You're a student, but forget laptops and digital notes. Ink stains on your fingers from the pen you just used are your daily badge of honor. School isn't in some massive building. It's a modest, drafty room, wooden benches lined up facing the authoritative glare of a lecturer. The dude stands in front with a chalkboard, state-of-the-art stuff back then. Society? Let's talk. It's as hierarchical as the Eiffel Tower, and you're probably on the second level. The French Revolution happened, sure, but let's be honest, the nobility's still got a pretty sweet deal going. You, on the other hand, are bracing for the rigid class structure. Not that that'll stop your attempts to break through. Also, Catholicism. Almost everyone is practicing. Skipping Mass is like not joining everyone in the latest TikTok trend. It's just not done. Your day starts early, often before sunrise, because light's not exactly cheap. And women, mostly at home. Your sister isn't sitting next to you in class. She's over there mastering the art of running a household, or maybe rolling her eyes at the limited roles society gave her. Industrial revolution is swinging hard, so factories mean jobs, but schooling is for the lucky, like you. You're navigating all these changes, eyeing the future, wondering if steam engines will really be a big deal. Hint, they are. Life's slower here, sure, but don't underestimate how busy your mind feels, trying to hold on to who you are when everyone thinks they already know. That, my friend, is your backdrop. Buckle up. You're sitting in a wooden desk, uncomfortable, too small for the knees you'll grow into. The classroom is cold, even in spring, but it's normal now. You've heard tales of heated rooms, tales that sound like stories, fiction traded between shivers. The day begins at 8 a.m., sharp. You're in your place as the church bell rings, just like your father was before you. Before anyone speaks, you make sure the inkwell on your desk is filled. It's a task that should be menial, but feels monumental when it's 1850 and you dropped it last week. Ink stains your fingers. Life stains your fingers. Monsieur Dupont, your teacher, enters with an air of discipline and a whiff of something that might be tobacco or pipe dreams. His lessons begin with Latin. He writes on a slate, expecting your handwriting to mirror his. Exact, correct. It's tedious. You don't really know what any of it means, only that it must be done. Next comes arithmetic. The numbers blur together until lunch. A slice of bread and another handed-down story of beef stew from your mates, which you've never once tried. Afternoons are mixed with history, science, moral philosophy. You're not sure what morals they're teaching. They begin with lectures. Lots of lectures. Ones that you're jotting down, the way he says them, not the way you need them. You hope, maybe someday the words will resonate. The classroom dynamics are simple. Teacher speaks. Students whisper when they think they can get away with it. Occasionally, you'll catch someone's eye, a moment of shared bemusement. You live for those moments. The day ends around 4 p.m. Another bell. You gather your things, head heavier with facts you're not sure you'll remember. If everything goes to plan, you'll be a lawyer, a teacher, a something by the age of 20. But right now, you're just tired and hungry. School in the 1850s is all rigor, all routine. You look up as you leave and hope tomorrow's lunch might be more than bread. And in that, you find optimism. You're sitting on a wooden bench that makes you wish you'd brought a pillow. The classroom smells like old parchment and boiled cabbage. The instructor, Monsieur Leclerc, wears a waistcoat tighter than a can of biscuits. You've got a quill in your hand, dipping it into ink, and immediately manage to spill some on your only clean shirt. Welcome to school in 1850s France. You look around. There's no smartboard, no projectors, just a chalkboard that creaks if you so much as look at it. Your classmates are laser-focused, probably because if they're caught daydreaming, they get a swift ruler to the knuckles. Discipline here makes detention back home seem like a vacation. Math class is mental math only. You've never missed having a calculator so much in your life. Your mind is a haze of long divisions and multiplications while you hope you get the answer right, because here, participation isn't a choice, it's a requirement. Reading materials? forget your digital textbooks. These guys are flipping through leather-bound volumes that weigh as much as a small dog. You wonder how good the Wi-Fi has to be just to load a text at this point. Spoiler, there is no Wi-Fi. Etiquette is another beast altogether. You're supposed to call your teacher sir and stand every time you answer a question. It's like being in a boot camp for manners. Oh, and no talking unless spoken to. Silence is the golden rule here, not ask three before me. Then there's the reciting. Lots of it. Recite the alphabet. Recite the kings of France. Recite how to conjugate some obscure verb you've never heard out loud in English, let alone French. It's like a never-ending oral exam. By lunch, you're missing your cafeteria pizza. Instead, it's bread, cheese, and a bit of watered-down wine. Seriously, you wonder how they haven't all fallen asleep by now. But you have to admit, there is something almost calming about the simplicity. Each subject taught with a laser focus, every pen stroke deliberate. And yet, while you're missing your Google searches, there's a strange comfort in the routine here. Discipline and routine hold a different kind of order, one that's both restrictive and reassuring. You realize something that makes you pause for a moment. Hey, at least you can't get cyberbullied if nobody even knows what a computer is. You sit, trying to adjust your uncomfortable wool trousers, and notice the boys around you. It's like a living pyramid of authority in this room. The son of the Baron sits at the front. He has a gold-plated inkwell and a smirk that says his future doesn't depend on learning Latin verbs, unlike the rest of you. You wish his attempts at sarcasm weren't as grating. Nearby, the merchant's son, second row, always, doodles absent-mindedly. He couldn't care less about the Baron's gold, probably because he gets shipped fresh cherries from Lyon every summer. You'd trade a leg for one right now. Your own place is further back, with the others whose fathers scraped together francs from anything but titles or trades of note. You scribble down notes, praying no one notices your ink stains. Not a day passes without someone commenting, "Oh, your ink's running again? How unfortunate." It's exhausting. Girls? Hardly any in sight. When they do appear, it's like they're ghosts haunting space they're not meant to belong in, except when they're used to imitate dolls for etiquette practice. They stay to whisper about whose bonnet was in style last week and who wore it first. Some think a girl who can read actually poses some kind of threat. Recess? No break there. It's a power struggle wrapped in a thin layer of playground dust. You line up for the ball game, a hopeful mix of exercise and survival, where losing means endless jabs about your size or speed or lack thereof. At lunch, there's Josette, giving every crumpet its day in the court of, "Do I really need this brand of carbs on my plate today?" Each crumb judged as if it might topple the social hierarchy somehow. You tried talking back once, said a few words about fairness. The teacher looked at you with a mixture of pity and disbelief, like you just suggested that dirt should vote. He never engaged you directly in class discussions again. You get used to it. The dynamics, the roles you're shoved into at an age where you barely know yourself. Friday feels the same as Monday. Each day a carbon copy of strained nods and awkward silences, lessons chalked on slate. As if deciding whether you get to sit next to a baron or a merchant defines who you'll become. As if that decision's not already been made. You're seated in a high-backed wooden chair that somehow manages to make your back ache and force perfect posture at once. The room is dim, lit only by a few sputtering candles. Your classmates look just as uncomfortable, shifting on their seats as Madame Durand drones about arithmetic, yet again. But today, the lesson takes a surprising turn. She's interrupted by the abrupt entrance of Monsieur Lefebvre, the headmaster. His face is stern, lined with thoughts of revolution and reform. He clears his throat, announces upcoming changes. Words like educational reform linger in the air, heavy with implications. You think back to the heated discussions you've heard around town about the Revolution of 1848, your father arguing with the baker about the merits of a republic versus a monarchy. The baker thinks change is a disaster. Your dad assures him it's the future. But right now, you're more concerned about what it means for your schedule. Monsieur Lefebvre talks about new subjects, more science and modern languages, less Latin. You secretly cheer. If you see another verb conjugation chart, it'll be too soon. He talks about new textbooks, ones that don't crumble if you turn a page too quickly. It sounds promising, but there's an undercurrent of anxiety when he mentions new regulations on behavior. Freedom with a side of control. You shoot a look to your friend Gene, who rolls his eyes. He whispers, "Guess they want us to be revolutionary yet contained." You stifle a laugh, then realize, ironically, how right that sounds. The older students say school used to be stricter, uniforms tighter, punishments harsher, but progress means change, and change means adaptation. The bell rings, finally, signaling the end of the day. As you pack up, you feel a mix of relief and confusion. Relief that maybe, finally, school might get a bit more interesting. Confusion about how much your life is affected by men in wigs arguing in far-off buildings. You step outside. The air is cold and crisp, whispers of revolution still lingering in the streets. As the leaves crunch under your feet, you realize the future of education is unfurling, probably as uncertain as your place